Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Church with a Two-Drink Minimum.
Alright, everybody ready? We're going to sing. Hey, Lena. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the church with Two-Drink Minimum. Welcome to the church with Two-Drink Minimum. We are interfaith, interspiritual, God optional. So relax and get ready for a celebration. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum. One more time now. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum. Everybody, can I give it a human? Hey, human.
Now things can begin because we have our wee doggies in here now. So
Indeed. Okay. Let's turn that.
how's your Sunday?
Oh God, our Sunday is going great. Yeah, thank you, Osana.
I know,
yeah,
right? Nice.
It was really
was
going
a nice,
good.
nice homily this morning.
Oh yeah, boy, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
We have we can't wait also for the rest of this evening because this is going to be a very exciting evening.
I know.
Jam packed.
I know. Welcome to the start of the lineup, gentlemen. We
I
have a wonderful entire radio program for you this evening.
Look, there's Connie and
I
there's
know.
Arizona.
I know. We're gonna get. I know. This is where it all gets in. This is the pre-show, right?
Well, it's so great. We're so happy to be here tonight, and
We look forward to this all week to be with you.
we do. We really enjoy it, and we have a lot of fun things to share with you today. So I think we should start with our sing along because yesterday in the workbook lesson was the
Oh, really? What was the workbook lesson yesterday?
it was the very famous "Let things be exactly as they are."
Lesson 268.
Yeah,
let things be exactly as they are.
Yeah, that was lesson 268.
Yeah.
So it said, "Let me not be your critic, Lord, today, and judge against you. Let me not attempt to interfere with your creation and distort it into sickly forms. Let me be willing to withdraw my wishes from its unity, and thus to let it be as you created it. For thus will I be able to recognize myself as you created me. In love was I created, and in love will I remain forever. What can frighten me when I let all things be exactly as they are?" So let's,
I know.
Let's
I know.
sing
You want to
it.
hear somebody say, "Hit it, Ralph."
So here we go.
Yeah.
Let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me,
And you can't change.
and you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
Chica! And you and me.
And you and me
will live in peace.
We can live in peace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything is for.
what anything is for
Unless I listen to that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me.
It's telling me
this simple truth. That everything is for my good.
Everything is for my good.
So let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me,
And you can't change.
and you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
So you and me,
will live in peace.
we
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
that you see.
Although we love our bodies.
We do. They're very useful.
I am as God.
I am as God
created me.
God created me.
And we are all.
And we are all
one family.
one family.
And it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible
to live in peace.
to live in peace. Let's bring it
So
home.
let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
can't
Shout it with me.
change God.
You can't change God.
Let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace. Kumbaya. Yeah! You gotta make that kumbaya as loud as you can't change God. Right? You make the kumbaya really loud, like just as loud as the. That's been so much fun.
Well, what a
So much
wonderful
fun.
week it's already been. So, Friday, this past Friday, Glenn and Jacqueline started Herein
Back
Lies
up.
the Peace of God.
Yeah, we were talking about sickness.
Yeah, it was really interesting
What
because...
is healing?
What is healing? Jacqueline had a take that on sickness that I had never thought about before, and she was, the way the Course uses the word sickness, Jacqueline was talking about and relating it to the thinking mind, and I thought that was real. I know, right? That made a lot of sense to me. That really did.
And her metaphor of explaining something I hadn't heard before either was her metaphor of explaining, what energy am I putting out in the world? I don't want to put judgmental, ooey gooey, crap, awful, negative, whatever it is, however we characterize it or experience it, into the world for its consumption, for my consumption, for I don't want to put that in. I don't want to put that into the stew of present moment, and things like that. So I thought it was a very good way of explaining that concept.
Right.
Again, that we send out messengers, right?
We do.
We send out messengers. It's called confirmation bias, and to look for things that make that don't challenge our beliefs about the world, and don't challenge our ability to find the causes of our suffering. Right?
See, and that's the key, right? We want to find the causes. So we can,
or unless you want to just continue managing symptoms.
Well,
that's called a business model.
as I move deeper and deeper, I see, I'm beginning to see obstacles that I haven't seen before, so I think this is very, very good to uproot those causes of my suffering. So, it's a continuing progression.
And so speaking of obstacles, we're going to be looking at, we're going to be doing like one of my favorite lessons today. It's called The Laws of Chaos.
And we have, we have visuals for you.
I know.
We have little visuals that
To
we're
help you
going to
remember
share to help
what
us
the
remember.
laws of chaos are, because I'm just too precious by half. I would have a little felt board, and I would do little dinosaurs and art and tell the stories on felt board, probably, if I could, like a Sunday school teacher. I may end up doing that sometimes. That would be fun.
Arizona just put in the room, I learned a lot about ego. Thanks, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Arizona, for tuning in. So, with that, I want to thank our radio audience, because a lot of times we don't see you, so we don't.
We have a tendency to think there's only 10 people
in
we're
the
talking
room,
to when we're talking to many more people.
So we thank you so much, those of you on the radio who are listening, and we really, really appreciate it.
And the feedback we get, it's important.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let's move into today's lesson, and then we'll do our meditation. Let's see what today's lesson is. Oh, yes. Oh, here's a good one, y'all. So, today is lesson 269. My sight goes forth to look upon Christ's face. And it starts with a prayer. I ask your blessing on my sight today. It is the means which you have chosen to become the way to show me my mistakes and look beyond them.
The means to look beyond my mistakes.
Yeah. It is given me to find a new perception through the guide you gave to me.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Spirit, thank
Guide,
you. The voice
the
that
guide.
likes you, the guide. And through his lessons to surpass perception and return to truth. I ask for the illusion which transcends all those I made. Today I choose to see a world forgiven in which everyone shows me the face of Christ and teaches me that what I look upon belongs to me, that nothing is except your Holy Son.
Nothing is anything but me.
Yeah.
It's all me.
Right. It's all...
The big self.
Yeah, the big self.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with that, let's go into our meditation and bring all of our, let's just bring all of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Maybe it's been a rough day for you. I don't know. Maybe it's been a glorious day. Yeah, it's a little warm over here. Maybe it's been a glorious day for you, and it is. And let's just bring all of our concerns. Maybe we have friends who are ill, or friends that we want to bring blessings to. Let's bring everything into our circle today and just acknowledge it. So 3 times with the bell, 3 breaths. The last breath release on an Om, if you like. And we'll just acknowledge that we're creating a circle of love and go into the silence for a few minutes. So here we go. The sound of Om, the sound of the universe, the sound of this circle of love that we are co-creating right now, because we can't help but co-create it, because we are made of unconditional love. We are the divine expressed in this 3-dimensional reality. So we allow that truth, that unconditional love to well up inside of us and bubble out into our rooms that we're sitting in, and our apartments or our homes, or all of the folks that are with us where we are, all of the living beings that are with us where we are. And we allow this love to bubble out into our streets and towns and cities and country and world. And in this circle of love, we say a radical yes to everything. Everything that we like and everything that we do not like. We learn from it all. We see the face of Christ in each other and in all circumstances. We know that we are safe, that there's nothing to fear, and that this frees our mind. And so let's just take a moment of silence in this circle of love together.
I realize you think that I don't speak too clearly. You must acquire the patience to have ears to take it slow. Take it slow. Let the river flow. Feel the healing. Gentle cleansing. Oh, take your time to free your mind. Free your mind. Free your mind.
Yay!
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I know.
I want to tell you who was playing in that video, because obviously it was from one of our live Church with the Two Drink Minimums. That was Doreen Younglove singing with me.
Doing the
she-
trippy alto vocals.
Yeah, gosh, we love Doreen. And you might not have been able to see the musicians behind us, but they're all spiritual musicians who have CDs and
Careers.
They're really great musicians. Nirmal Chandraratna was playing the cello. And you can find him on the web, Nirmal Chandraratna. And in the background playing the drums was Jay Freeman. And his partner, husband, Freddie Freeman, was right behind me playing the guitar. And that's, you have to search for Freddie Freeman singer when you go to the web, because
Very inspirational music.
There's another Freddie Freeman, but yes, very beautiful, very inspirational music that I think you would enjoy.
Even writing from the Course of Miracles, both of these guys actually. We introduced the Course of Miracles to both of these, and both of them have Course of Miracles songs.
Yeah, so at some point I want to share those with you, but I just wanted to tell you who the musicians were. And
very important, very special people to us as
Yeah.
we played with for years and years and years.
Yeah, and Arizona knows them
Yeah.
too, so we just wanted to share that. So we have a big message
in that
for
setting,
you.
so at that microphone and that setting,
Yeah.
I've given this message
have.
a long time. But
Yeah.
one of the this is one of my favorite things to do is the obstacles to peace, as you well know, and the laws of chaos.
Yeah.
Because the obstacles to peace are the ways in which we organize big groups of people. Like why we don't have peace is because collectively we don't have a culture that actually defines peace correctly. Right? We define peace as the absence of conflict. Now it goes on and on and on, but those are big societal things that the Course does. It says this is the macro way this principle is used. The micro way this principle is used is called, as she goes into it, chapter 23, it's called the laws of chaos.
And she actually calls it that.
The laws
right?
of chaos.
She calls
Yes,
it
this
the
isn't
laws
my
of chaos.
version.
Yeah.
Now, she says the obstacles to peace and the laws of chaos. These are her words.
Yeah.
And where there are only 4 obstacles to peace, there are 4 obstacles to peace. There are 5 laws of chaos.
Well, 5 is the chaos number.
5
in
and 5 is the
numerology.
chaos number.
Yeah.
And it's like if you do your numerology, you'll find out like what kind of number keeps showing up.
Yeah.
I'm a 5.
Yes.
You know, I'm a 5. So 5 shows up in a lot of my important dates.
And I'm a 6. 5, 6.
I know. So she's there's a whole. I won't go into the numerology of the Course of Miracles and all of this because, but it's all there. It's everything there. Everything really checks out as far as as far as I've ever looked. And she often teaches the same lesson over and over and over again in different ways. But she's never. I don't know. Want to say never because Helen, the writing team, the writing team of Helen Schuckman and the Holy Spirit gets kind of snarky sometimes, you know. And I really like that, and I like their collaboration in the way they turn a phrase. So, and I would do the course. I would do the obstacles of peace, and Yolanda like the.
You mean the laws of chaos?
The laws of chaos.
Yeah.
I was doing the laws of chaos, and Yolanda would go around the room like the boxer, like the beautiful woman between the rounds of boxing, and hold up the letter, hold up the number, round 2. She'd go around the bar, round 2 or something like number 2, and hold up these signs,
These little
and
drawings.
everybody would be saying them over and over and over again. So we're going to go over the Course of Miracles, and hopefully by the end of tonight, you're going to be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and be able to recognize them in an interesting way, a memorable way, and apply them. So that's my goal. Let's see how well it works.
Okay, let's go for it. Let's see what happens. You never
Let's
know.
see what I know. We don't ever know. So we're on chapter 23, and this is called the War Against Yourself because we're talking about the way our responsibility in relationships. Right, and this is a very good look at intimate relationships. Next week the whole chapter is about intimate relationships. So this is what we bring as individuals to all the relationships that we have. This is the common factor for all of our relationships.
Oh, you know what? And today's lesson was speaking to relationships.
and sickness.
Right. Because it was asking us to look at everyone through the face of Christ.
And which is the conclusion you're supposed to get to if you've learned this lesson.
Okay. Well then, my goodness, let's learn it.
Section 3, the laws of chaos. Would you read the highlighted sentences, Reverend
I
Yolanda?
most certainly will. Okay, so let us begin. Let us then look upon them calmly, the laws of chaos, that we may look beyond them, understanding what they are, not what they would maintain.
Do you see what we're getting at here? So she uses this is the beginning of theme. You're seeing a theme here. Overlook. Yeah. Look past. Look beyond.
Look beyond, yeah.
Understand. Look, instead, recognize what these laws maintain.
Yeah. Look beyond them, understanding what they are, not what they would maintain. Yeah.
Yes. So if you could recognize what they maintain, you might even be able to do it in reverse. Yeah, look beyond them. So what's...
Well, here are the laws that rule the world you made.
Okay, see if this is correct. Just test this out. I mean, she likes the scientific method. You don't have to believe anything here. You can test them out yourself. So don't show anybody yet.
Okay.
So this first part is what are our goals for looking at the laws of chaos? What are our goals? Well, to look beyond them, to see through them, to the roots of what this chaos is. And we want to be able to look and understand or be able to recognize the systems or the conditions that they're trying to maintain, what they're supporting, what the foundation's for. Well, and if we do that, we can understand what they're for, what they're trying to accomplish, what these laws actually, the fruit of these laws, if you will. So, a couple of notes. These laws have no inherent power over anyone or anything. They don't even need to be broken or considered because
they're not real.
They're not real. Like God, this isn't the way the world works. This is just chaos. These are the laws of chaos, not the rules of reality.
Right.
So, I want to ask you this question as we begin this. I'm going to ask you this different versions of these questions as we go along and see if you can form this with me. Can we see the world our thoughts are creating for us to experience? Can we see the world our thoughts are creating for us to experience? Just a way of recognizing. We aren't in any action steps yet.
Okay.
All right, read the next two sentences I've highlighted here for you.
Okay.
And we're going to get to the first law.
Here we go. The first chaotic law is that truth is different for everyone.
Okay, let's say that
Can I
again.
show this
No,
now?
no, not yet.
Okay. The first chaotic law is that the truth is different for everyone.
Uh-huh.
Let's get back into the room and see
Okay.
how
How we
folks
react.
are. Okay,
Everybody-
there. Okay,
everybody's-
we're okay. We're going back and forth between screens. If you have a question, just pop on and ask.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. So the first law of chaos is that truth is different for everyone, making it seem that some of them are harder to overcome than others. She's speaking of illusions. If it were realized that they are all the same and equally untrue, we could probably let it go a little better.
Right.
Yeah.
She said it'd be easy.
Mm-hmm. It would be easy. Yeah.
Right. So there's two ways that I talk about the first law of chaos. The way she says it is the truth is different for everyone. Now,
Right.
that's perfectly fine on the surface. That is a great way of saying it's accurate, but I just don't remember it. You know what I do remember? A quote from Mel Brooks from History of the World Part 1. Remember that? Remember that scene? It's, the first law of chaos, I say, is it's good to be the king.
Dun,
Right?
dun, dun, dun.
So you have a thing. It's good to be the king.
The first
Right?
law of chaos.
It's backwards to them. I mean,
okay. It's probably
good
backwards.
to be the king.
It's good to be the king.
It's good to be the
Here's
king. Oh, it
thing.
isn't. Oh, it's backwards to us. It's good for you. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You can read it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Okay, cool.
So maybe I did that right when I was doing it for the class. Maybe I did that right. So do you remember the scene in where Mel Brooks he sticks his face into Gina Davis's cleavage and goes and then looks at the fourth wall, looks at the camera, and says, "It's good to be the king." Right?
That's what he remembers.
That's how I remember this law. Because the king's the only one that can do that. Anybody else would get their head chopped off, right? So it's like it's about who has the power. Chaos. The first law of chaos is the truth is different for everybody. The rules in society apply different to different people. Different if you're white, different if you're black, different if you talk this way, different if you're a woman, different if you're there's different rules based on arbitrary often physical characteristics. So that's what I say. So the truth is different for everyone. It requires separate thoughts. We're going to talk about that tonight. It requires a hierarchy of illusions where some things are more valuable than others. Now, she says that the illusions we believe are just the ones that we want to be more true. And we find them valuable. Okay? So, and in this idea is that truth can be won. And we're gonna get into that a little bit deeper, but which requires us to extinguish those that we do not agree with.
Wow.
The first law of chaos is it's good to be the king, and if I get to establish the rules, I get to terminate what I don't think is true. So,
Ooh, that's
I know.
deep. That's deep.
Couple of reminders that it's good to be the king. It's got like monarchs have used that. Monarchs and warlords have used this idea well to get lots of stuff. So errors. So this is a reminder. Errors can be corrected. That's what we're talking about here. Whether they're big or small or little, or effective or errors can be corrected because they're untrue.
Right.
We can correct it.
Yeah.
Right. Truth is always and in all conditions ethical, regardless of our understanding. Truth is always and in all conditions true, regardless of our understanding. So we can apply this, and we catch ourselves making different rules for ourselves, and this is it's a power imbalance in a relationship. How do power imbalances affect our relationships?
That's a good question.
They're really I think they're very destructive, personally.
There's something in the chat. Let's
Power
see if there was
imbalances.
a-
We're saying,
hi,
hello,
George.
George is here.
Hi. Yay.
I learned a lot about the ego, right?
Right.
So, power, the first law of chaos, so truth is different for everybody, is speaking directly to power over dynamics in personal relationships. Do I only feel safe when I have power over.
Yeah. That
Or
makes
the
sense.
opposite is also
Right.
true. Do I only feel safe if I'm making no decisions and something has power over me?
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
It's the first law of chaos. Truth
Interesting.
is different for everybody.
everyone. Okay. Wow.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is good. The second law of chaos is the demand that errors call for punishment and not correction. Even God himself is powerless to overcome this, if you believe that, you know. One becomes weak, the other strong by his defeat. The arrogance on which the laws of chaos stand could not be more apparent than emerges here.
Okay. And so I want you to, just as a small bit of a caveat, she defines sin in this chapter. And I'm beginning to think she defines it in every single chapter, but listen to this definition of sin.
Sin cannot be remitted, being the belief the Son of God can make mistakes for which his own destruction becomes inevitable. Right.
Sin is a mistake in which your destruction is promised.
You think your
Right.
destruction is inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second law of chaos is... Dun, 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 dun. What you say is...
The second law of chaos is we learn by punishment.
Right.
Right? And the way she says it is each one must sin and therefore deserves attack and chaos. Okay, that's perfectly good. It's accurate. It's correct. Each one sins. You deserve the attack and punishment because of that. How I remember this is that's why I put this is it sucks to be you. Right? It's
Right.
second law of chaos. It sucks to be you. Like you want to be anybody else. The problem is I don't have enough talent. I'm not tall enough, or whatever it is. I don't have the wherewithal. I'm not smart enough. Whatever it is, I'm not enough.
So therefore, I'm a dunce. So I have to wear a dunce cap.
In Awakening Together, we call that the I am bad belief.
Right.
I am bad.
Yes,
I'm
of
wrong,
course.
broken, unfixable, have to be punished, all that kind of thing.
So put me in a corner and put me in a dunce cap.
Yeah. So I promise to be good. I promise to be good.
Right. I have to write that on.
Yeah, they have to write that.
over.
That's the image I often use as a kid. I'll be good. I'll be good. I'll be good. So the error must be destroyed in this paradigm. Destroyed, not corrected. Destroyed. And there's a positive aspect of this that we experience in the culture, as in take your punishment. It's good for you. Right? This is the second law of chaos in effect. When someone says, take your punishment, it'll be good for you, they're often exercising in this law of chaos. So when we do that for ourselves, I deserve this punishment. And there's no correction, and there's no forgiveness available. I mean, you did it. You have to be punished. And this is why the punishment and the severity of it is always mean tested.
What is that?
How
what does that mean?
bad was it? Somebody else is evaluating your error or your sin and is determining the correct punishment for you.
I see. Okay.
And so then this error is a proof that we're broken. We're broken. And that God has no choice but to abandon us. Because God's perfect and loves only perfect things and can see only perfect things and just loves perfect things. And once we sin, we become invisible to God. God tosses us out of her mouth or whatever. That's what So this is a belief system. You begin to understand that this is a paradigm. It's inside of this is a certain belief system that we're never going to be good enough for God. That we can't even imagine a relationship with divinity, much less be divine ourselves. This is a complete fantasy world. I did do those things. It is good to take responsibility for your actions, but that's not what she's talking about here.
Right.
We live in conflict with ourselves. We live in conflict with others. We live in conflict with reality.
Right.
It's just like, get real. The world is a cutthroat place, dog-eat-dog world.
Right.
Get over it. Get
All of that
real.
stuff. Yeah.
It's cynical. You just, be better. Don't get caught.
Well,
all
yeah,
of it.
and we learn by punishment.
And we learn by punishment.
Right.
You know, so but we even raise children this way.
Right.
And they say, but we raise dogs and children this way. If they say don't do this, all the psychology says horses don't learn by being whipped.
Right.
Kids don't learn by being beat.
Right.
You know, we're learning this in psychological in all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So the second question is where the first question was, how do power imbalances affect my relationship from the first law of chaos in power dynamics? It's good to be at the king. How do power imbalances affect my relationship?
Mm-hmm.
The second question is, have I really destroyed this relationship with God? Have I really burned my bridges to reality? Or do the people who really care about me, the reality that I'm loved, whether I believe it or not, have I really destroyed my relationship with God?
Well, it's not possible.
Right. It isn't.
Right.
It isn't. It
Right.
isn't. But each of us has to come to that own conclusion and turn toward the light again.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Interesting.
So read this next bit. So what's the first law of chaos?
It's good to be the king.
What's the what's the first law of chaos?
First law of chaos.
It's good to be the king. What's the second law of chaos?
I'm a dunce.
It sucks to be you, or it sucks to be me, right? It sucks to be me.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So read these next two pieces. Read the next two bits of highlight.
Okay.
Here.
I want to see how you. Okay. Okay. The fear of God is reinforced by the third law of chaos, and conflict is made inevitable. Atonement becomes a myth, and the function of this course, which does not value what the ego cherishes, is to overstep the third law of chaos, which Glenn calls God will get you for that.
God is mad at you. God will get. Anybody like that from Maud? Anybody recognize that quote from Maud? It was one thing Maud was always saying. God will get you for that. It's the idea that like God is a punishing, thing. You just
God hates you.
God hates you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And He has to, because you made these mistakes.
Right.
You did these things.
Right.
God can't even look on you. He couldn't. There was so much sin on Jesus. God had to look away. You know that story?
Oh, right. That's how the Bible.
Uh-huh.
How some of it.
So the third law of chaos, I call God will get you for that, or God is mad.
God is mad.
And the way the Course says it is, conflict is inevitable and beyond the help of God.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Conflict is inevitable and beyond the help of God. Appeal is useless. You've done nothing to deserve it.
To deserve what?
The appeal.
Oh, okay.
You've done nothing to deserve this appeal. It's obvious. It happened to you because you don't deserve it, and you're a bad person anyway. And your suffering and your pain is justice. Okay, and you'll fight for it.
You'll fight to keep your suffering and pain in place?
You'll fight for justice means fighting and to inflict pain and suffering on somebody else.
Oh, so somebody deserves justice because they're bad and
justice.
This
is justice is my desert. I'm supposed to be doing God's work.
Right. Okay.
That's justice.
I see that.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I see what your point is. Yeah.
Suffering and pain is justice.
No, it's not.
So, and it's also destruction is the whole reason for this. Destruction is the outcome. The world. She's asking you to keep. Remember, what's the first? What are the goal? Be able to recognize the systems and stuff that this thinking shows us. This thinking creates. So this thinking of the third law of chaos, God's mad at you. The thinking creates a world in which destruction is a virtue and it is the inevitable outcome, and there's an externally visible I win kind of mentality, and getting on top, being the one, being God, right? The one who makes those decisions. Okay, then she gives us a couple of reminders so we don't slip back into this. Remember the addiction to conflict a couple of weeks ago that we talked about? The primary ways in which we get triggered because we have this physical addiction to the adrenaline rush or the whatever, a dopamine hit, right? Like the addiction to conflict. And she asks us to remember that we have an internal confirmation bias. That we're sending out and looking for things that confirm our worldview instead of challenging it. So with all this in mind, this God will get you for that. This God is mad. Conflict is inevitable. Appeal is useless. I ask the question, who deserves vengeance? Who deserves all this vengeance? Deserves it, right?
Right.
Me?
No.
Me?
Nobody else does either.
Or is it my job to be dishing out the vengeance? Because you can be on both sides of this. You be the one with the club or the one getting clubbed. It doesn't matter. It's still the same paradigm. Because you should be punished, and the punishment has to happen. It leads to destruction. Okay.
Wow. All right, let's go back in the room for a second and see how everybody's doing. How's it going? Hey, Jacqueline.
We all still breathing?
We're still breathing. We're doing crazy things over here.
So we got the third law of chaos. God is mad. So go this over again. So what's the first? So we got him?
Okay, here we go. And we shall review.
What's the first law of chaos?
It's
good to be the king. What's the second law of chaos?
I'm a dunce.
Or it sucks to be me.
It sucks to be me.
And the third law of chaos?
God
hates
mad.
me. Yeah,
God
hates me. I know. Oh. Okay, read this next bit.
Okay. Let's see. Now we're on the fourth. Okay. So the fourth has to do with competition. Okay. So the fourth law goes like this. The ego values only what it takes. For enemies do not give willingly to one another, nor would they seek to share the things they value. And what your enemies would keep from you must be worth having because they keep it hidden from your sight. Okay, they're keeping hidden the valuable inheritance that should be yours. Thus do the guilty ones protest their innocence. Were they not forced into this foul attack by the unscrupulous behavior of the enemy, they would respond with only kindness. But in a savage world, the kind cannot survive, so they must take or else be taken from. Now must his body be destroyed and sacrificed that you may have that which belongs to you. His treachery demands his death.
Don't you love this language? I just absolutely love this language. I cannot tell you how much I love this language.
It's so super silly and super dramatic.
It really is. So the fourth law of chaos, if you haven't noticed, is competition is real. Now, the way the ego puts this is the ego only values what it can take. Okay. But the fourth law of chaos is competition is real.
Jacqueline is saying, she's hearing 110 Soldier Rides Away. Yeah!
110 Soldier Rides Away.
Oh my God.
That's so true.
I used to sing that song all the time. Oh Lord.
Cat's in the Cradle too. But
that's another one. Okay. So
competition is real. You get
you can get first place if you
are if you do everything right. You'll be on top and you'll win and you'll be happy and you'll get all the things. It's about winning, isn't it? About winning? Isn't it about being on top?
It's about winning.
Oh
my God, this is so silly.
The ego only values what it can take. You can see the material paradigm in there. It's completely material paradigm.
Yeah.
Another's loss is your gain. That's a quote from A Course in Miracles.
Right.
We can only, but reminder, we can only take from ourselves. Right? That's the lesson.
Exactly.
The face of Christ.
That's today's.
That's the lesson. We can only ever really take from ourselves. And the obvious. Nobody gives willingly, and everybody wants something.
Right.
We can look at our own childhood and know that that's not true. Nobody gives willingly.
Yeah, no.
My
mama gave me a
thank
lot.
God your mother gave you willingly, your father and your teachers and all kinds of stuff gave willingly.
Yeah.
And like Yolanda was saying, other people have what's mine. They have what's mine.
It's
and
what
I deserve it. I didn't get it.
I didn't get it. You took it.
The world took my fill in the blank. Dignity. Innocence.
Yeah, my
talent.
career. My career.
My career. Uh-huh.
My job.
I know.
My job.
Took my job. Those people took my job. And we're supposed to fight to get it back, to prove that it's mine. It's the fight. Conflict is inevitable. So it goes back to the third law of chaos. So she does this little reminder with us. She goes, don't jump. Listen, we think we're a body, and we think they're a body.
Yeah.
We think material objects have fixed meaning when they don't. Material objects don't have fixed meanings.
Right.
And so, with that in mind, with this idea of what the ego takes in competition, I ask you the question. We've asked a few before. The first question we asked was, how can we see the world that our thoughts are creating? And then, how do power imbalances affect our relationships? And then we talked about, have we ever really destroyed the relationship with God?
No.
And so I asked you, and so then we asked, who deserves this vengeance that the world is crying for? Who really is deserving of this vengeance, and where do we fall on that giving and receiving in that vengeance? We come to this question in the fourth law of chaos. Is it true that I have fought for everything that I have? Is it true that my value is made through the assets and the material world that I can control? Is that really, really true?
Well, I have a song to illustrate that point here in
What
a
are the
minute.
odds? What are the odds? Yolanda wrote a song about that.
I did. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so there we are. So let's do a review.
Okay, we can do a review.
Yeah. What's the first law of chaos?
It's
Good to be the king. Right. What's the second law of chaos? Sucks to be me.
Sucks to
right,
be
right.
me.
Sucks to be dunce.
Dunce.
Right.
Dunce
Dunce that.
up.
What's the third law of chaos?
God doesn't
Didn't
like
like
me. Oh,
Yeah, right. God doesn't like.
me.
See, I usually skip that too, Jacqueline. I totally do. And you're gonna watch yourself redo this over and over again and think about why there's certain laws that I have trouble remembering. It's really, it's interesting. So what's the what?
Well, and that speaks to the I am bad.
It is. It speaks to the I am bad belief is so insidious.
All of this actually does.
It does. Yeah, it is. It does.
So the fourth
law of
one
chaos is competition is real. Competition is real. You got your blue ribbon there.
What's the fifth? What's the fifth? I can't wait.
Why don't you read this little bit and we'll talk about the fifth law, and we're about done.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, here comes the fifth law. But what is it you want that needs his death? Can you be sure your murderous attack is justified because you know what it is for? And here is a final principle of chaos coming to the rescue.
She puts rescue in
Rescue.
quotes.
It holds that there is a substitute for love. And then she says, this is the magic, the substitute for love. This is the magic that will cure all of your pain, the missing factor in your madness that makes it sane. All of your relationships have but the purpose of seizing it and making it your own.
So there's a substitute for love, and you'll see what I call this. There's a substitute for love. The way she calls this is magic that will cure all of your pain and suffering. Right? There's a substitute for love. I don't know about you, but sweet and low is not a substitute for sugar. It might be a sugar substitute, but sweet and low is not a substitute for sugar.
Ooh, gives
It's
me an
its own-
aftertaste.
But it's like there's a substitute for love. How odd, how ridiculous is that? She calls this idea a magic idea, that there's something out there. There's a physical object or physical possession of an object or a thing or a person that has no choice but to give you this relief of pain and suffering that you deserve.
Right.
This is like love is located in others and must be physically extracted from them because they won't give it to you.
So I
You
would
have to be knocked out like, I need your love. I need your love, love, love. I need you. It is like, lie still. I'm getting some love. You know?
Oh, God.
You know, it's all we see this operating in our world. I'm justified in my anger and my violence and my judgment because you're withholding from me.
I know, and it's not fair.
It isn't. It isn't. So I should be able to destroy you because you're not doing this. You're not
doing
denying my happiness.
Right.
You have got my love locked inside of you, and you're not giving it to me.
I know.
And all relationships have this purpose of seizing this magical ingredient from each other. Well, instead of sharing ourselves with each other, instead of being the presence of love, which we're talking about, it could be that salvation is true. It could be that salvation is true, and we actually know this because we get mad when someone severs this connection that we understand. Now, those connections cannot be severed because we're all one thing, but we feel that rejection as a sever, as a disconnection. So a reminder, we're almost done. We're going to get to the song here.
Okay.
We're not afraid of our darkness, are we?
No, we are afraid
We're
of
not
our light.
afraid of the darkness.
Yeah.
We prefer the darkness
Yeah.
to it. We prefer all these things to the darkness. This is a lifestyle. It's not something you learn once and it's done. You've got to learn these things and participate in these principles and systems all the time and keep catching ourselves when we try to convince other people that it sucks to be us. Or that we think we have to compete for what is ours. Or that I can't have love, so I might as well just go somewhere else or look for something else like a career. So with this in mind, the question becomes, are we looking for love in all the wrong places? And I did that for you, George. Are we looking for love in all the wrong places?
All the wrong places. Looking for love in too many places. I don't know what the rest of the words are.
Yeah. Well, you can. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Yay,
thank you
Okay, I have the perfect song that illustrates the laws of chaos.
Do you?
And.
Well, all right. Oh my goodness, so what does that mean? That means this.
Soon-to-be husband is in the house. Where are you, bud?
Hey, bud! Hey! I'm still the bridesmaid.
That's a fine woman you got there. Thank you very much.
I did it. All right.
What's your veil?
Oh, yeah. What are you looking at? Okay. So, for all of you that haven't written your wedding vows yet, I'll get it again. Well, these are mine that I'd like to share with you. Glorious enough. La be my way. I'm a control queen. Everything has got to be all the people in the world have a place, and that's the place where they should stay. Always said that straight is the path and narrow is the way. All the people in the world would just do as I say, it'd be okay. All my friends, they run around and they don't know what they should do with their lives. So I tell them what to do and then they push me aside. If all the people in my life would just do as I say, they'd be okay. I'm a control queen, and everything has got to be my way. I'm a control queen, and everything has got to be my way.
Okay, we're up to time, so we're letting go of the mic.
Love you. Stay tuned. We got a great couple of next shows for you.
I know. Okay, we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.